Good morning, everyone. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to our session 0. As you can see, we're still kind of building and constructing things. It's our session 0 of our new adventure that we're going to be playing. Called The Extinction Curse. It is a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure featuring these wonderful and amazing people who are my Patreons, who help support the channel, keep my lights on, and make sure that we can keep doing these cool, fun little shows. Now, before we begin, guys, I want to take a moment to say this. Today is only session 0, so we may not necessarily have the time to get into, like, a full game, and we're going to do our best to make sure that all these characters are dotted off and squared away for you guys to enjoy. But in case we don't, that's okay, because we're going to be doing a breakdown of, like, characters and how to make Pathfinder 2e people, etc. for you guys to enjoy later on down the track. Now, before we begin, let's of course quickly introduce all of our wonderful players for today, starting with none other than Schoolie, who is joining us from the chat as our new Patreon. Good morning.
Good evening.
We then have, of course, our dear friend Avarian.
Hello.
As well as the two knuckleheads in the middle there, Sean and Neil. G'day, mates.
Yeah. Hello.
And, of course, as stoic as his name implies, we have the incredible Rock.
Hi, guys.
All right. So yes, let's talk a couple things today. First of all, sponsors, guys. We are a sponsored channel because we have people who want to see us succeed and stuff like that, and we want to see them succeed because they are also friends of the channel. So guys, please go and check out our list of amazing sponsors. We have, of course, none other than Hero Forge, where we will be taking some time to build some Hero Forge models for these characters coming up soon, and we're going to then release them for you guys to be able to check out or use them in Euro games, or even print them if you like them enough. Sirenscape for our music that we will be listening to. Probably not today, but nonetheless, we have them for our soundboarding. And Fantasy Grounds, which is going to help teach us and guide us through character creation. So there you go. How does the player text look for everyone? Oh, right, yes. I was
just asking that just for...
Yeah, that's a good question. How does the player text look for everyone? Because I'm playing with a new font, and I'm not sure how good it looks. I'm like, yeah, you can always make a bad guy character NPC with us. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You can do a bunch of stuff. All right. So, a couple of other things. You guys in chat are a huge part of our sessions, and normally we do have donations and plot twists, all of which will be active once the game commences. For today, however, all donations simply are out of love, and they go towards, of course, our trip to Utah, and all proceeds go to the Convergence cosplay that I am building. Because of your generosity already, we have managed to get a majority of the costume already ordered, and it is on its way. So you guys will get a fashion show of me putting it all together once it starts arriving. So I already, you guys have already done so much to help me get to where I need to be. So yeah, if you are donating for that, then of course please feel free to. But yes, we'll hold off on the other stuff until we get going in the show. Now, the thing that you guys will get a benefit from is, I'm sure all of you that have not been living under a rock have literally under a rock protector over there. Yeah. You may know that Dungeons and Dragons is currently going through a bit of drama in regards to its open gaming license, and in the shadow of this, a lot of people are looking at changing from D&D to other games, including, of course, Pathfinder. And I thought, what better opportunity than obviously a brand new game with these players to go over my session 0 prep and character design for basically a character in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is using Fantasy Grounds, which I use as just my my platform, but you can do it anywhere in any order you kind of feel works for you. So let's start off with Pathfinder 2nd Edition basics, which is every time I start a character, I know for a fact how many options there are for character options, for builds and mechanics and stuff like that. It is what Pathfinder is known for. That is not what needs work. For me, what needs work more than anything else are our concepts, the characters, who we have, and who we are. And for me, they always need to hit 3 boxes. And these 3 questions have already been asked to my players, which are, number 1, what connects you directly to this story? Why are you going on this plot? The reason I did this is because a long time ago, a group that I had asked me, literally by request, asked me to run a game and an adventure in a particular setting, at a particular location, for a particular reason. And I did. I wrote the whole game, at which point they wrote characters that immediately proceeded to leave that scenario and never look back. It literally made my partner so angry she kicked them out of our house. Like, it was like a whole thing. But it got me thinking, like, yeah, if you make your character and your excuse is always, that's what my character would do, then let's make what your character would do something that's going to be go on the damn quest, right? So that's where the first question comes in. So the second question we then ask is, what connects your character to the success of the party? As you guys may know, like, some characters are rogues who like to steal stuff, or warlocks who like to murder people. If you have these characters, they can still work in your table, so long as those characters always remember your goal is the success of the party. Lastly, why are you not an NPC? What is your personal motivation to get up in the morning and say, I don't want to open up a bakehouse and retire as a NPC and live my life safely? Why do you live the life of adventure? Those 3 questions are all you need, in my opinion, to have your character concept. Now, I've asked my players to choose 3 concepts together, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys to roll a d20, because this is going to just be all luck-based, and I'm going to get you guys to pitch your favorite ideas. If these are ideas that I think will work really, really well, we will go on the proviso that that is going to be your concept. And, again, if someone has taken a concept that is very similar to yours, I recommend dipping into one of the other ones and seeing where we go. So, let's get these d20s going. Throw them out there, boys. Look at these dice roll. Boom, 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 boom.
Nope, if I wasn't lagging. There we go.
Oh no.
All right, it looks like our first spot goes to Neil. Rock, are you you're not in Fantasy Grounds. I will roll for Rock. That's very loud.
Yeah.
All right, Rock, you're up first.
No, dang.
No pressure.
Okay, Rock.
Oh man, I'm scared.
Okay, what is your character concept?
What's my character concept?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my character concept is what do you call it? The snake Nagaji, thank you. Inventor. Yeah. And
Okay, a Nagaji inventor. That's very cool, very interesting. Nagaji, for those of you in chat who don't know, are jungle-dwelling tribal lizard people. And inventors are a class which tinkers with clockwork mechanisms. So, tell us a little bit about your character. What is your concept? What connects you to the story, to other people, and of course to going on adventures?
so, the short version of the story is she was, when she was very young, her tribe got attacked from another tribe, and so luck that the circus was passing by at the same time, and her mother told her to run in the woods, but she ran into the circus and actually ran into her mentor, that her future mentor, not mentor at the time, and he was the inventor of the circus. He would build all the stuff, the gears, and to lift up the things. So he decided to adopt her and train her the ways of because he is a half elf, but he lives longer than usual people, but he, eventually he would die. So he was like, I need somebody to pass my skills on to. So
Okay, I like that.
yeah.
That's a brilliant start, a wonderful concept. The only thing I will add to this, if I may, is the existence of time. rather than having the circus simply happen to be near the site of a battle, having your tribes get into a war where you had to run, your character could easily have been lost to the forest and to the jungles and wandered around for what could be days, weeks, or even months before stumbling into the circus. Maybe hungry for food. That's how you ended up, kind of in there. The reason why that works is what we like to call incidental plot. Incidental plot is something you want to avoid when creating characters. Incidental plot is something like if just by sheer luck or random happenstance, I was a barbarian. I was born to a woman who by chance was giving birth at the gym, and I flew out and landed in a big vat of protein, and then I became a barbarian, right? Dumb luck for me is always like that's lazy writing. So for this case, having the character like wandering around for a while lost and then bumping into that's not necessarily luck, because there is a length of time that has been exerted in order for you to find some salvation. And I think that also plays into like your character may actually have a fear of being lost and alone in like a natural environment like that. It might also explain as to why you connect to being a tinkerer, because tinkering is like mechanical, it's man-made, it's it's urban, it pulls you away from that primal childhood fear that you may have developed from that incident. And I think those are really, really cool concepts. So yeah, no, that's great. Do you have a name for the character?
Her name is Mash. Oh wait, sorry, I have it. 1 second. I have to look at it. Mash, Masha. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you wrote the name. You have to
Yeah.
look, bare minimum. Another thing for character creation, bare minimum, you have to be able to say your own name. So Mesha?
It's yeah, Masha. Yeah.
So how do you spell it?
MAISHA.
I almost got it right. Okay, there you go. Done and done. All right, that is our first concept. Next on our list, Neil. What is your character concept?
My character concept is a human summoner with the angel Eidolon.
A human summoner with an angel eidolon. So for those of you who don't know, humans are people. People are humans. Humans are that. As for an eidolon is a fairy-type creature that comes from the first world. These were kind of the blueprints of what would become the creatures, people, plants of our world. And eidolons are kind of like a spiritual form of that. Also, super quick. Actually, we've got a question that we'll field for the group in the Brune Brassax asks, "What is each player's gaming experience with Pathfinder 2e and TTRPGs?" So, quick fire round. Go. We'll start from our version of player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. Go. Yep. School AI. Go.
First. So Pathfinder 0.
Mm-hmm.
Quite literally 0. TTRPGs. GM my own thing for about, I think it's about 3 months, and that was me starting it. So
nice.
Nothing.
Amazing. All right, Avarian?
Pathfinder 2nd Edition would be this game and the Ruby Phoenix prior to that. My overall gaming experience, I started in 1987. I DM'd first in about 1991, and I've played games from Cyberpunk to BattleTech to D&D.
Amazing. Sean?
Yeah, for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it was basically just the campaign that we were taking place in prior to this. But Pathfinder itself, I've run a campaign and played it a lot, loved it. And as far as tabletop RPG or just regular tabletop RPGs, that I didn't mean VTTs. But yeah, I've been doing that probably since like 2012, I think, roughly. That Yahoo got me into it. So initially,
nice. All right, Neil.
So Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it was the Ruby Phoenix prior, before the Ruby Phoenix that we were doing. For Pathfinder and like D&D and stuff like that in general, I got into I was playing 3.5e with a high school friend, and his dad was the GM playing with their uncle and and his cousin. And then after high school, I got really into 4E, and then it kind of just scaled from there. Joined Michael in the Pathfinder 1E, and then we played Starfinder.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And Rock?
All right. So the Phoenix game was my first 2E. Before that, I've played D&D, Star Wars, Cyberpunk, Pathfinder 1, 5 for D&D, and 3.5. Since 2020, no, not 2020. 28, 28, 9, 2020, 2000.
Yes, we're not at
8 and 9,
2028 yet.
around
I
there.
get it. 2008.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. And for me, I've played a handful of one shots. I actually have never played a long-term Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign, but I've GM'd about 3 now, I want to say, and I've been playing since 2010, starting with 3.5 and then evolving into Pathfinder mostly, but then also a bunch of indie games. So yeah, that's my experience. All right, Neil. So going back to your Eidolon, tell us your concept.
So the concept is that she is she was born into the circus. Her parents are magicians. So as she got older, she would have wanted to help out more when she could finally work. And so she would find out what she was good at. They found out she could cast magic. And when she was able to cast magic, the Eidolon showed himself to her. Essentially as her guardian angel. And he felt it was a love at first sight kind of thing for the angels. So their contract form is actually marriage.
Okay, so it's an Eidolon, not an angel.
I thought
No, an
in
Eidolon
the
is not
same-
an angel. So as previously mentioned,
okay.
so fairies, so Eidolon are akin to fae as opposed to that. Although, let me just check on that because that might have changed in 2nd edition. Because
I was
Eidolons,
wondering because they have fae Eidolons, they've got dragon Eidolons, they've got undead Eidolons.
yeah.
It's
So
like-
what they are is, think of them like blueprints of what real versions of them would be. So
Yeah.
before angels were angels, the first world created an Eidolon to show you what an angel was. And then when the gods went, that can be an angel, yeah, let's do that. They then made angels. So the Eidolon is kind of like the blueprint, Okay. But let me check that because that's a good point. Because let's see, maybe because in first ed they were all fairies. But in this edition it might have changed. So Eidolons are not PCs. They do not count as PCs. Blah 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 blah. So each Eidolon is click here for full rules. Okay, cool. Though each Eidolon is a unique creature, there are many types of Eidolon, each drawing on a particular tradition of magic and manifesting from related essences. Multiple types of each Eidolon exist as well. So yada yada yada. Okay. All right. So yeah. So an Eidolon is a blueprint. So it's not actually an angel. It's a creature that appears as an angel because that's the blueprint it is, or that is the tradition it's following. So think of it like summoning a. Do you ever watch Golden Compass?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where you have a familiar, someone who is your companion. So having it as your guardian angel is perfect. I think that works really well. But I think there needs to be that distinction that your character maybe mistakes it for a real guardian angel, right?
Okay, yeah.
But
Well,
it
that's
is
what I
in
was
fact
thinking, because when
because
he
it won't
shows up-
correct you, right?
Right.
It won't
Because
correct you.
yeah, so he actually shows up as a human coming from just kind of thin air because it's kind of essentially her summoning him.
Yep.
But then he explains what he is, but he shows up as a human, so she would assume he might be an angel.
Right. Okay. So I need to
but,
check on that one as well, just to make sure that Eidolons are an NPC that actually do communicate in that way.
I would check the angel Eidolon too.
Angel Eidolon. Yeah, because that's the other thing is if it's because at one point or another an angel Eidolon versus a companion. So yeah, they speak only Celestial. So just make sure that you have Celestial and you'll be able to communicate with it.
Okay, I think it says that I can speak the one of the languages that my Eidolon can speak to. I think
Yeah,
that
sweet,
would
sweet,
be
sweet. Easy done. All right.
But
So
the form of their contract is it ends up being a marriage, and then they end up training to be a magician.
okay, so let's go to the contract. Why is there a contract if you are the one who summoned it?
Well, isn't that what an Eidolon thing is? Like you
No. It's like with any summoner, it's like it's the magic spells that you have. So your ability to summon is a connection to the Feywilds to be able to draw the Eidolon who then will respond to you. We can do it like in the way that there is some sort of pact or contract, but I think what I would do is I would steer it away from marriage, only because I think there's just that vulnerability there where it might come across as your Eidolon as a male blackmailing a woman into marriage.
Okay, so maybe
you know
not
what I mean?
marriage, but I'm gonna say that she probably ends up liking him, and it's kind of a both way, but they don't say anything.
Yeah. I'd probably like I said, I'd just probably steer away from it just because I feel
No
like
problem.
I feel like that's just it's a very religious type thing. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
because
Okay, no
you've
problem.
literally got a master servant kind of relationship there, which of course you can then blur and sort of turn into a romantic thing, and that's something I think I'd much rather see in game
Yeah. Okay.
than I would have you pre-write it and say this NPC's in love with me, and not have any kind of real like effort there.
True.
So
You're in love.
Gotcha, yeah.
You're in love.
So yeah. So
It's like a bar.
so the way we'll go about it is I think okay. So in which case I guess the first question I have is your parents are magicians.
Mhm.
Are you a magician or are you just some kid who can summon?
Well, I mean, she would want to be, so maybe just like a magician in training at the time, but she might help her.
Well,
parents.
you're in the now. So where I mean, you're talking about like backstory stuff
She's like
now.
20 right now, so it's like
Okay, so you've only recently learned to summon this Eidolon.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So maybe the way what we can add here is that you were raised by your parents who were magicians, and maybe they're just at that point where they can't do some of their old tricks anymore. Not that they're retired or anything, but that some of those tricks became a bit dangerous, and they're slowing down a little bit. Not in their old age, but like just
So they're
in
kind of
general.
training me to do it now.
I wouldn't. I'd say maybe. Well, hear me out on this. I'd say that
sorry.
you have no talent for what they do, right?
Yeah, true. Yep.
So if you have no talent for what they do, that can make your character kind of like be like, well, damn, I really want to do this thing, but then this Eidolon shows up, and you've learned you can summon. Because keep in mind, your powers aren't exclusively related to the Eidolon, right? Like you have other powers and abilities which manifest and circle around.
Actually, I think Eidolons can only cast magic based on the tradition of
The divine
magic
spells.
being-
Yeah. So that's what. So your powers are now manifesting here, and I think maybe it'd be cool if your character was trying to surprise your parents by working on your power quietly without their knowledge, and then kind of reveal, preparing to reveal it
So
to
my
them.
parents don't know that I have an Eidolon or that I'm a summoner.
Yeah, maybe they mistakenly. Well, I mean, again, your problem is that your Eidolon only speaks Celestial. So if anyone tries to talk to them, they start
true.
going, and everyone's like, what the hell? But we can discuss that later. But I think this is a really cool concept. I think it needs a little bit of tweaking in terms of just like, because you've built a lot of NPCs into your backstory, which are going to be proactive in the game. Now, this is another bit of advice for our chat as well. When you're designing a character, remember your GM is the one who is going to be playing, interacting, and engaging as all the NPCs. I find this is a common thread for people, for players who are GMs as well. We tend to like to write our entire backstory and create the world around our characters, including the other NPCs. But ultimately, you've got to remember, it's a dual system, and what you should be doing is you should be like handing and asking, like, take some to your NPCs over to that GM. So you need to have those kind of expectations of that. For example, with the Eidolon, how your Eidolon behaves ultimately will come down to me. So if you want a romantic relationship, what you're asking me, Neil, whether or not you realize this, is, are you happy and willing to role play a romantic relationship with me? And now I'm a professional actor, so I'm okay with, like role playing and stuff like that. But the thing is we can sometimes just forget to be mindful of stuff like that. Same thing with your parents as well, your relationship with your parents, and how the whole world is going to react to you having a romantic relationship with an eidolon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. But no, I really like the idea. I think it's a solid concept, and I'd love to see it developed. Let's go to our next person, which is... Who's our next person?
Oh, did you want her name?
Oh, yes, name, please.
So her name is Naomi.
Naomi.
And the eidolon's name is Callisto.
I unfortunately do not have place on the layout to put
No problem. That's fine.
Callisto, but Naomi's there. All right. Who's next on our list? We have... I think it's a tie between Schooly Eye and Sean. So we're gonna do a pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Oh.
Extinction Curse is set in what location?
Oh, Avarian got a 12. But
Did he? Oh, Avarian. Then we'll go with Avarian. But then you two. Well,
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
do this real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So what location is this campaign starting in? It was in your dossier. Okay.
And I'm guessing Galarian does not count.
Nope. All right, let's try a different question. What is the name of the circus to which your characters will belong?
The Wandering... Oh, gosh. Oh, it's alliteration with W's. It's like the Wandering Wondrous... Oh, boy. Yeah, I know it just had a lot of W's.
Just
in it.
All
keep
right,
saying W
final.
names,
All
you'll
right,
get it.
final question.
Oh,
Final question.
No. The Circus of the Wayward Wonders. That's what it was.
Hey,
right?
there he goes. All right,
Yeah.
you got there in the end. All right, so Avarian, sorry, let's find out your
Wandering
concept
and
first.
Wonder.
I don't think I'm going to play my first concept.
Sure.
As interesting as that character was, it might be a bit hard to fit in.
Good. All right.
So I'm going to go with another bloke named Walter Montague. Walter Montague was a fortune teller, con man, charlatan who would hold seances and summonings for the nobility and so on and so forth until one day it actually worked. During a seance at a noble's estate, he finished off the seance, and at the end of it, there was a small, what he thought was a small child draped in a pillowcase or something like that, but turned out to not actually be. It was actually a spirit that he had managed to summon with his seance. The spirit wanted to find basically the family that it had lost for a long time ago. So Sir Walter, or not Sir Walter, I keep wanting to say Sir Walter Riley, but that's not right. So Walter headed out after he got over his initial shock of what was going on. There we go again. Walter headed out and decided to help his ghostly apparition, who would not leave him alone, to figure out why it was still bound here. That has led him to the circus, where he is gainfully employed as a medium, seance, and fortune teller.
Okay, so a charlatan who had come into power that they don't quite understand and have kind of retreated away from their old life. And
Yes.
what better place to be on the run than here? Interesting. I like that. I think I would like to, if I may, offer a suggestion to this. I think this is going to be really good. What if your character was a phony, knew he was a phony, was conning people all the time, but was discovered when he started to actually manifest his real powers? And then, once admitting he was a phony, but now is no longer, was literally chased out of town.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
And I think that's going to be amazing. I think that's going to be really cool because it's a case of like, no, I was ripping you off, but I can really do it now. And everyone's like, it's like, hey, you was ripping us off. So now you're with the circus as like a legitimate, soothsayer, oracle, etc. And I think that'd be really fun to kind of see how that goes as well. Because, you know, like there's gonna be two sides of this. Very, very, very much. Yeah, Max says big wolf in sheep's clothing vibes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which I
it
think works
reminds
super
me
well.
of like the movie Ghost, like Whoopi
Mm.
Goldberg's character. God, that was great.
Yeah, that's cool. I
Yeah.
loved that movie. I love that movie. Robert
Oh,
Downey
yeah.
Jr. was such a baby face in that movie.
A-
And what's the
and
character's
I-
name? Walter?
Walter Montague.
I'm going to call you
Or just
Walter
Walter.
because
Yeah.
I'm. All right. Okay.
And I think this character is probably a better fit for the party than my first one submitted.
Yeah, that one was kind of wild. Funny, but yeah, kind of wild.
All right. Sean.
Yes. The character concept that I came up with was a catfolk swashbuckler
Mm-hmm.
taking the acrobat like I forget what that's actually called, the panache thing that the swashbucklers have.
Mhm.
And as that suggests, he's an acrobat. Uh, um and for his story, I was thinking also grew up you know, from birth at the circus with his parents.
All right, which
Um,
means you'd probably be very close to Naomi, and you'd probably be very close to Maisha because they're both raised in the circus as well.
mhm, yeah. Um, and like, you know, typical kind of like family of acrobats, like they probably have their own like trapeze set that they do. But ultimately he kind of wants to have his own personal like act that he does. But you know, it's family tradition, you know, they have to do their set act of the trapeze stuff. But ultimately, yeah, he wants to stand out from the rest because he's a bit of a
Mm.
glory hog.
I love that idea. I love the idea that you come from like a family of glory hogs, and
Yeah.
and then you kind of like are like the well, I mean it's definitely got like younger sibling vibe, and I think that works. I mean, I think so. Have you decided on your family, by the way, like in terms of how many people or who's gonna be in it?
I was thinking parents and an older brother.
Just one? Because I would go with three
Actually, yeah.
siblings.
I think that would be kind of interesting, actually, yeah, having multiple siblings.
Because
Yeah.
I think like you've got like one sibling who is like smart, one sibling who is strong, and one sibling who is like super flexible. And I think that'd be really, really funny because you yourself don't see the value in the fact that you are a medium between these. So for example, your older brother may be the strongest of the acrobats, right? And he's stronger than you. But then you've got your sister, who's like the most flexible and agile, who's more agile than you, and then you've got your other brother who may be very very intelligent and like helps come up with the routines and stuff like that. But you're in a place where you're better than each of them in the things that they're not good at, but also not as bad as the other siblings are in those same things. So you don't
Mhm.
see why it's important for you to be kind of well, why your skills are because they're exceptional in those one spaces. And I kind of really dig that. I love that idea. So no, I love this character. And you said you're a
Okay.
cat folk?
Yes.
So yeah, the cat folks would be I mean, I need to come up with a really cool name. You know, like Cat in a Hot Tin Roof or something. You know what I mean? Like there has to be like a catchy name for your family.
Well, one thing that I was gonna be thinking for a concept, I only really came up with his first and last name, but they all have a alliteration. So like his name is Arturo Akuf, and like I was thinking like
Well, if
you
it's
know, each of
Arturo,
his
then
family
you're
are.
looking at Italian, so it'd be things like Armando.
Oh yeah,
You know.
Akuf is yeah, that's more Celtic, isn't it? Yeah.
But that's fine. Look, I mean, we can play
Yeah,
around with
yeah.
that. But I think it would be that your name would have something to do with like something showmany, like the flying somethings or the
Yeah, oh,
amazing,
yeah.
or the
As the
spectacular.
group as a whole, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that I'd love to. You know, yeah, we'll have a think about that. All right, I love
Yeah.
I love the concept, and I look forward to making the siblings. Please write that down because I feel like I will forget to make those siblings at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Schoolie. What concept do you have, my
Yes.
friend?
So my first concept is a gnome bard. That
Gnome bard.
Yep, a gnome bard who had a master who basically chucked him out into the wide world to gain experience. Travelled around a few cities and all that, trying to make his way in taverns.
Mm-hmm.
Stumbled into a circus that was there, felt it was a bit quiet, and offered services to try and liven up with a bit of music and a bit of shenanigans.
All right. I like the idea of the gnome bard. I think we've got a lot of gaps here, so let's just fill out these gaps a little bit. Because you know, I mean, like the wandering in, I think doesn't quite work because it doesn't give me much of a story to play with. So let's start with why you were wandering. Why don't you have roots with this character?
So I did go into the full backstory, but probably went a bit too far. So as a youngling in the village, they had a minstrel that kept appearing every year, so that bringing the stories,
Mhm.
and that just sparked the interest to travel and see the world and tell the stories himself. And hit 20 or whatever it is, decided to try to follow, and that's when the mentor that he was looking up to at the time basically said, "You know what? The best thing you can do, find these big events in the world," and that's what he went out to do. So he was trying to find the wars that were happening in the far-flung areas that he's never heard of, all the turmoil, and basically was always a few steps behind, and therefore never getting these stories. So he was just telling the same stories at the taverns, bitten down luck, and that was more. So he was always trying to find that big story.
Okay. So you're searching for a masterpiece. You're walking towards
Yeah.
something. So, guys in the chat, here's a bit of advice here as well. Every single human being or character has one of 3 quests. That's it. Crazy, right? 3 quests. You're either going towards something, you are going away from something, or you are standing your ground. That's it. Those are the only 3 things. So knowing that your character is going towards something is a great thing, especially for a gnome. Gnomes in Pathfinder actually have a very unique biological imperative to seek wonder. And I'll come back to why I said that in a minute. But if they don't, they actually need those new experiences. And as soon as they do not gain new experiences, they start to die. The colors and vibrancy of these gnomes start to fade until eventually they get bleak. And then eventually, once they become bleached, undergoing a process called the bleaching, they either die or go mad. That's what gnomes have. There are actually gnomes out there called wonder seekers who go around seeking out gnomes who are undergoing the process of bleaching and tell them stories and share with them excitement to help extend their lives a little bit more. And what I would love for your character is if maybe you were a wonder seeker. And maybe that mentor, that musician that taught you how to be a bard, maybe he was done. Maybe he had traveled the world. He had seen all he has to see, and he's been playing the same songs over and over again. And he was bleaching, and you got to see that firsthand. And the last thing he did of worth with his life was to pass on that knowledge to you. And now that he's passed, you don't have him to perform to anymore. And you need more stories so that maybe if you come across another bleaching gnome, you'll have more stories to help. And joining the circus is a great way because what is a better place to find wonder than the circus, you know? And that's why you're also a great hype person because you yourself can see just how amazing everyone is and how amazing everything is. And as a bard, screaming that from the rooftop is amazing. You know, like you know how there's that guy who's at the front of the carnival or the circus with a megaphone just yelling at the people at the gate. It's not the ringmaster often. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's, you know, whatever. I think that as a character role, I think that would be just so cool as a concept. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I did almost a little essay, is pretty much what it was. The master basically dying and sending him off.
Beautiful. Do you like the idea, the concept of the Wonder Seeker stuff and being the, sort of gathering stories to tell to gnomes who are bleaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I went through it, it was like eventually going back to the hometown with these big stories for the next generation to kick them off was the mental end game for why he left and why he'd potentially return one day.
Mm. But what do you think about the Wonder Seeker stuff? Because the Wonder Seekers are an organization. Sorry, I should probably mention that.
Oh, I was wondering why I hadn't seen Wonder Seekers when I was going through all the resources. Yeah, it probably makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, because that means that I can now introduce the idea of Wonder Seekers, the NPCs, and people who may, reach out to you and also be able to interact with you as well. It gives you a little bit more stuff. It doesn't mean that you can't go back home and tell all that sort of stuff at the end of the thing, but that's prologue. That's prologue
That's
stuff.
post game.
Yeah, we're not looking at post game. We're looking at pre game. So if your character is a Wonder Seeker, I think that's going to be great. Okay, what's your character's name?
Hold on, because I did come up with a name, and I'm going to cheat and just re-put it back in Discord because it's a bit easier. If that's a bit easier for you, or I can put it into.
No, I can see it. Oh, and you need to say that because if you can't say it, you can't have it.
Holler not.
Holler
That's why I
not.
came up with a stage name as well, just in case.
Well, do you want to go by your stage name or do you want to go by your real name?
I think go by this. And
Cool. Holler not.
Yeah.
Done and done. Okay. What have you sent me, Sean? Your secret messages?
Oh yeah. I just sent you the
Oh yeah, the sibling stuff.
yeah,
sweet.
just so
All
you
right.
have a reminder.
Very well. All right. So, guys, we have some wonderful concepts here. We have Maisha, the Nagaji inventor. We have Naomi, the human summoner. We have Arturo, the catfolk swashbuckler. We have Walter. Sorry, I didn't catch what Walter was. Walter was a...
That's the part I hadn't gotten to yet, was figuring out a class would work. Technically, Summoner would work the best with an undead minion, but we have a Summoner, so I might look at a different option.
No, there's no problem with you having a summoner as well. I don't find.
I'm kind of taking my summoner as the healer approach, using divine magic to kind of heal. So
the other angle we could obviously look at with the undead sort of stuff is we could always look at a cleric, someone who does the whole speak with dead thing and stuff like that. But we can talk about that as we come into the characters. And of course, Harlanot, our gnomish bard. So this is actually quite a good group, but we are, of course, missing something quite important, I think, which I hope when we get All Things Fantasy ends, he will consider, and that is, of course, a martial character. I think we have a lot of characters who are partial fighters and stuff, which does leave a gap, but gaps are fine. Dead Aussie Gamer, what restrictions, if any, do you have at your table with Pathfinder 2e? No aliens is pretty much it. And I don't want players to be culturally blind to the race that they have, because I find a lot of people combine race and class entirely based on stats, and that bores me. It tires me. It vexes me. So if you are playing a dwarvish fighter barbarian with a great axe, you will bore me. I like people to have a little bit of effort into what they do, and that's just me. It's not a restriction more than I will, the plot armor will be very thin on those characters. That's how I feel. All right, who's ready to build their character?
hell yeah!
No.
Nah, I don't believe in it.
No, you're good? Okay, see you later, Rock. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Fantasy Ground layout, and this is what you do when you create a character. First of all, after opening up a new character sheet, you'll see at the top right-hand corner there is a tracker button. When leveling up your character in Fantasy Grounds, there's a lot of coding that goes in. Make sure that you're using the tracker so that you can keep track of everything. It'll open up a window much like this, and feel free to insert your name here. Let's give this character a name. Let's call him... actually, let's make Maisha's mentor. Maisha, what was your mentor's name? Do you have a name in mind, or?
I did not have a name in mind. I was actually going to give it to you because
Oh, that's so kind of you. In which case,
to think of names. Yeah.
In which case, I will pass it forward to the chat. Chat, throw out some cool names for Maisha's inventor mentor, and I will pick one that I like. So throw that in chat. Now, as we're waiting for those chat things to come in, the first thing you'll see is the button named Ancestry. This, of course, refers to the type of species that you happen to be and who you are as a race. This will not define anything in terms of like your personality or anything like that, but it will shape stuff based on, things. It'll then open this super big list of all of the different races. And if you click on these little like dragons, it'll tell you a little bit about the race. So, for example, let's look at this old man being a...
He was a half elf. I made him a half elf, but
We can make him a half elf. So if we want to make it a half elf, right? We're going to start with human. So we're going to add human to our thing. After which point, when we selected our ancestry, we then get to pick our heritage. The heritage is kind of like your sub race or little features that make your racial stuff unique. So for us, we're now going down, all the way down to our versatile heritage, to half elf, and we're going to add that. And we are now a half elf. And I'll show you what, and as you can see here in our little ancestry thing, I'm going to try and, you know what? Actually, I'm going to just move myself out of the way real quick. Let me just, there we go. Whoop. There we go. Tiny dag.
he's tiny.
All right. So as you can see here, ancestry feats have been added. Ancestry ability boost. So that is to say every ancestry has certain ability skills that'll go with it. We've added in the traits. We've added in their speed, their size, their language, and hit points that you get for that particular ancestry. So Fantasy Grounds will automatically add those things in. At which point, we get to then pick 2 ability scores that we need for our particular character. Because we're going with an inventor, intelligence is what we need. And I think being like kind of an old man, I kind of imagine him being very, very friendly, very, very kind. We're going to add charisma as well. What this means is that these will be the first of multiple boosts to those stats as we build our character. So let's boost those up right now. Boom. There it is. Intelligence, charisma. What details are there so far? Sorry, you had to away. So details. We don't have many details. We're kind of building this inventor as we kind of go on the fly. I'm inviting my players as well to already begin if you guys have not done so already. If you have any questions as we're going through the steps, please ask them at the point that I'm doing it with the chat. I like Whisperstone. Whisperstone's a great name, so I'm going to keep that as the last name. But I think I like... let's see, what's a few good ones? Stabatha.
What?
I like Cornelius Whisperstone.
Ooh.
Cornelius Whisperstone. That's a really cool name. It's a beautiful name.
I like it. I like
All right.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, after we've selected our ancestry, you may think the next thing we hit is background, but before we do that, we add an ancestry feat. Now, Pathfinder 2nd Edition uses a lot of feats. Pretty much, feats are just your optional elements to every single aspect of your character, from race to class to skills to your general feats, a whole bunch of stuff. So over here, we're going to click on Ants, which is ancestry feats, and it'll open up our feat tree with a whole list of the feats available to our human, as well as our elf, because we got a half elf. Let's see, what do we want? Ancestral linguistic, ancestral longevity, arcane tattoo. Now you mentioned that that he was already quite old when you met him.
Yeah.
So let's add ancestral longevity. So he lives longer than so a normal half elf will only live about as long as a human does. So ancestral longevity.
I thought they lived a little bit longer. Is that just for Pathfinder?
Well, no. Well,
Or-
some of them, now that you can take the ancestral longevity feat, which I just have, they can.
Oh, okay.
So not all half-elves live longer than humans, but some do. Also, yes, this is Fantasy Grounds. Hey, welcome in, Jashny boy. Welcome, welcome. We are doing some character building here on Fantasy Grounds for our new Pathfinder 2nd Edition game that's coming up, and we're going through character creation. Please feel free to ask questions, take a seat, and enjoy. Can you bribe me? You can always bribe me. That's literally my channel. My channel is nothing but me taking bribes from audiences to torture my players during games of D&D. That's like 90% of my industry.
Or to keep us alive.
Or to keep you... I'll keep Neil
in
alive
Neil's
for some
case,
reason.
Yeah, I was like, in Neil's case.
All right. Also, let me know, how was your stream, Dash, and let me know, what were you up to? What were you going on? What was happening in your world? All right. Now, after you've gotten the ancestry feat, which, like I said, we've just taken ancestral longevity, we now choose our background. Now, background, I think, is one of those things that a lot of people kind of just go, oh, yeah, I'll just take this because of the bonus. Don't just pick because of the bonus. Pick because you think the story would work for it. Because not only do you get a knowledge ability from this, you'll also get a minor stat boost, and you'll also get some unique powers from this. So if your character, if you're going like, oh, I'm a swashbuckler, I need dex, and you just pick something that needs dex, then, you know, you're just going to get the stat benefit. But if you turn around, like, for example, with Walter and say, well, actually, I'm a spiritualist, you can look around and you can be like, oh, what's a good thing? And you can go, oh, actually, you know what? Instead of me going like an occultist, I'm going to go with a charlatan and get the skill feat charming liar and then boost up my charisma, because being a cleric, I need to boost up my wisdom instead of my charisma. But this is a good opportunity for me to develop those skills that I need for my character roleplay. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it. So for this guy, for this old man, he is an inventor. He's a repair person. Let's see what we can add to him.
Yeah, mine was really easy. There was literally one that's just like, and you're an acrobat for the circus. I'm like, well, I mean, there you go.
There you go, yeah.
I guess I
There's
don't
also
even
Circus
need to
Born.
try. Oh yeah, there's that too.
There's also Acrobat. Acrobat would also be perfectly fine. There's
Yeah,
also
yeah, that's
Fortune
the one
Teller
I
as
picked.
well, Walter, just so that you know as well. Let's give this guy a little bit of history here. Let's say that he... Ooh, let's say that he was... Ooh, I love that. Maybe once upon a time, he was a hired killer.
Dang.
So the mentor, before he retired to the city, would actually make death traps for like bounty hunting and stuff like that. That's kind of rad.
Oh.
But he doesn't do
He's
that
like
anymore.
he's like the Q.
But now he wants to make toys and he wants to make stuff. So let's give him that as a background.
Now I wonder, did he tell me that, or is that like a past thing he just keeps secret?
Maybe we'll find out. So we'll give him some dexterity here. Make him dexterous. And then we get a free ability boost. So let's boost his intelligence, because obviously we need that for the inventor. And as you can see here, guys, already you can see in the tracker. Now we've applied the background. We gain our ability boost. We now gain a feat, Terrain Stalker, which we can click and find out what that does, which is select one type of difficult terrain from the following list. While undetected by all non-allies in that type of terrain, you can sneak and attempt stealth checks so long as you move no more than 5 foot. So basically, we can sneak around in particular terrains. In this case, you know, we're going to just say rubble, you know, because we're urban in setting. So there you go.
I did make it, but I did make him be in a wheelchair, but we could change that.
Well, no, he could. No. Well, here's the thing. He wouldn't have taken this feat right now.
Right now. Yeah.
So
Okay,
even though he's
yeah.
in a wheelchair, and we can have him in a wheelchair, that's no problem. Even though he's in a wheelchair, he may have once been a hired killer that was able to do that. Because keeping in mind, even if you have feats and abilities that don't work, that's still okay. It's fine.
Go by the story.
Well, I mean to say the lowest, the most difficult this game will not require your character to have to play to the maximum power level. You know, you don't have to do that. It is a very forgiving game when it really boils down to it. And you've got a GM who isn't going to try and kill you guys. Shame you don't have one. All right, real quick. Danny, we were doing sort of backgrounds on how characters met, grew into the adventuring party. Session 3 finished, and they're all starting to bond with each other. That's amazing. You know what? I always say this. Session 3 is always the golden episode where people start to really make those super strong connections, and I love those ones. You're also learning Pathfinder 2nd Edition with a bunch of friends in real life. Nice. Let me know how your experience is. I'm very keen. Is there no player 6? We do have a player 6. Matt, aka All Things Fantasy, is our player 6, but he was unavailable for today. So he is graciously offered to choose his character stuff after everyone else has. But you know, we look forward to seeing what he comes up with as well. Let's see. Again, if anyone has any chats, let me know. When have I been known to keep players alive? Never. Well, sometimes. You've kept your zombie alive for ages. All right. Cool. What else do we add? We added the Terrain Stalker feat. We've now added, as you can see here, Lore Underworld. So the inventor that we're building will be able to make knowledge checks specific to the underworld and like places within. And we are now trained in the stealth skill. Now, for those of you who don't know, Pathfinder, unlike D&D, doesn't use proficiency to determine their character's skills. Instead, they have it's still called proficiency, but it goes from unproficient, in which case you roll your d20 and you add your stat, to to trained, where you get to add 2 plus your level. Then you have expert, which is 4 plus your level, master, which is 6 plus your level, and legend, which is 8 plus your level, and then in addition to your stat. The reason it goes up this way is as you level up, you just start training in these skills and becoming more of an expert in them. Another element to that is that if you are not of a particular proficiency, you simply can't attempt checks. So, for example, a master lock can only be picked by someone who is a master at thievery. So if you come across a master lock, it doesn't matter if your actual max stat is like 1,000,000, right? You can't make this check because your proficiency isn't high enough. And that's why I mention this game is very forgiving in terms of like your power scaling. You don't have to boost your power because ultimately, even if your numbers are super high, that's not going to guarantee you success in various points. Sometimes you need to just wait it out and build that proficiency as you level. So there you go. All right, next up, we get to do the fun bit. We're going to add class. How's that? So we're going to hit the class button here on Fantasy Grounds. Boop. And it is going to open up our big old class list, as you can see here. A huge list of stuff. And there are several pages of this. But we know what we want. We are going to go with the inventor right here. Now, again, we can always click on that little dragon if we want to know about the inventor. So right here it says, any tinkerer can follow a diagram to make a device, but you invent the impossible. Every strange contraption you dream up is a unique experiment pushing the edge of possibility. A mysterious machine that seems to work for you and only you. You're always on the verge of the next great breakthrough, and every trial and tribulation is another opportunity to test and tune. If you can dream it, you can build it. And then a little bit about on how they work, what they do, what you might want to do, and then, of course, all of your skills and levels. Now, Pathfinder is very uniform when it comes to this, and I'll talk about, let's talk about it now. As you can see here, at level 1, you gain the ancestry and background features. We've already done those feats. You then get your initial proficiencies from not only your class, but also from the race and all that stuff we've already done as well. We then get Overdrive, an Innovation, Explode, Peerless Inventor, Shield Block, and an Inventor feat. Now, I mentioned this before with this system having a lot of feats. The reason for this is the Inventor feat that goes in, right, is actually interchangeable, not only with Inventor feats, but what we call Dedication feat. So instead of multi-classing as you would in other systems, you simply replace that Inventor feat with a dedication to either a archetype or another class or something, and it then unlocks certain key abilities that allow you to dabble into those classes. Why are there so many unnamed characters popping up on my screen? Who is about to find out is what I want to know.
Oh, that's
I only have
probably
one
me.
character.
I'm gonna open up
Just
my
like the
character
one.
thing. I can see who's done it. Let's see.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Is it me?
There's nobody.
Oh, I see
It's the
Avarian's got
ghost
1,
in the
2.
machine.
Avarian's got 2. Which one are you working?
It's-
All right, name the one you're working on, Avarian.
Remove both of them.
All right, gonna remove both of them. Delete that one. delete that one. Sorry, my screen was very slow. I got 2 from Rock Protector as well.
Sorry. You
Oh, no,
know
I've got
me.
one.
It's the second time doing this.
No, that's okay. And who's nobody? Ah, you're gonna
There's
be
a
like that, are
person
we?
named Nobody.
Owned by nobody.
Nobody.
Interesting.
I'm gonna delete it.
Okay.
I mean, nobody will be very upset, but
Done. Good. Excellent. I've upset nobody. Done. All right. So,
What?
Damn it.
okay. So where were we at? Sorry. I was just watching as like just more and more characters were appearing on my screen. I was like, what the hell? Okay. Now, so as I mentioned, the inventor feat can be interchanged for dedications, other archetypes, and stuff like that. And every second level, fourth level, and even level afterwards, you gain an inventor feat, at which point you can change your dedication, use an inventor feat, or other things as well. It's kind of like one of those flip books where you can like take the policeman's hat and replace it with like a fireman, and then change his shirt to like a businessman. You know, it's a chop and change kind of system. So that's the important thing to remember here. That's how this whole system works. It is complicated. But really, if it helps you in any kind of way, it's just like D&D where you get your class abilities, but your inventor feat is a variable. So your variable feat can be changed into a bunch of different stuff. That's all. All right. Cool. Let's add the inventor, shall we? Boop. And just with one click of the button, we have now applied the inventor. We now get to pick an inventor innovation. So this is something unique to the inventor class. We can go with an armor innovation where we create a cutting edge suit of metal armor with gizmos and the like. We can create a construct where we create a magical tinkering clockwork object. And we can create an innovative weapon, which is something that is a impossibly complicated and unique weapon. Because we went with the hired killer aspect, I'm going to go with the weapon one, as if he developed weapons, like quite nasty weapons, to like do his dirty work. And there we go. So, Fantasy Grounds has now applied all of that stuff. So we have our key ability. Key abilities in Pathfinder are the abilities that we use for all of our stuff like your spell DCs, your bonuses to particular abilities and stuff like that. So for the inventor, it is our intelligence. We have set our perception proficiency to trained. Our fortitude, reflex, and will proficiencies have been set to expert, trained, and expert. Now, what those are for those of you who, again, don't play Pathfinder. Your fortitude is your ability to stave off poisons and diseases, stuff like that. Reflex is your ability to dodge, and will is your ability to stave off mental assault, or mostly spells and stuff like that. Let's see, what else we have? We have weapon proficiencies have been added, armor proficiencies have been added. We have now got trained in crafting, thanks to our proficiency bonus. And we have 150 silver pieces. 150 silver pieces? That's not much, Michael. Well, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the economy has been changed so that instead of gold pieces being the standard unit of measurement, it is now silver pieces. So silver pieces are what more commonly gets used. Next up, train Cornelius Whisper in 6 skills. Add 1 more train skill if you increase your intelligence in step 4 in the free boost sections, which we will be. So, we'll come to that in a minute. Let's see. We then added the feature Inventor Feat, so we can now add a feat. We've added Peerless Inventor, Shield Block, Explode, Overdrive, all the stuff we talked about already. We have also added the Weapon Innovation. Now, as we mentioned, we have now got a class feature. So let's hit class here, and we get to pick a level 1 feature. Built-in tools, explosive leap, haphazard repair, no, I created you, a prototype companion, tamper, or variable core. Each of these things do different things, but I think we're going to keep this nice and simple and just go with built-in tools. Built-in tools allow us to build in tools to our innovations, which I think in this case can be the wheelchair. And the wheelchair can be have like inventor tools kind of built into the side of it. Next up, we have our free boosts. We select 4 attributes, and they will be boosted by they will get another boost. Now, any boosted stat gets a +2. So let's go with intelligence again. Charisma, because again, like I said, I want to be old and charming. Dexterity. And let's go wisdom. Wise old man, you know. Let's go with that. All right. All right. Last thing we need to do is hit our class. And, oh no, we did that already. Is hit our character. And level up 6 of our proficiencies. So let's go. We've got crafting. So let's level up crafting again. Make that expert. So that's 1. Let's go with diplomacy. 2. So we know that he's like, you know, good at chatting with people. Perception. He notices problems with his devices. That's 3. Let's go with society. He understands how the nitty-gritty of society works. That's 4. Let's go with thievery, because he should be able to obviously disable devices if he's able to build them. So that's 5. Let's see. What else do we want? Let's go with... Now, we can't put in anything that we've already put in during this phase. So you can't just keep stacking it up, and you can't bring anything above expert. So expert's the highest it can be at this point. Let's go with religion. I feel like he could be a religious person. And how many extra...
You get 1 per intelligence bonus.
Correct. So that means because our intelligence here is a +4, that means we're going to get 4 extra skills, which I think we don't need to be as careful. So let's go with nature. Let's go with deception. Let's go with arcana. And lastly, survival. No, performance. Makes sense. Because you're in the circus. So there we go. Just like that, we have now got all of our class features and class skills. And if you want to check them out, you can go into your abilities section here in Fantasy Grounds. And that'll list everything that we have. And we can just make sure that we've got everything we need. Ancestral longevity. We live a long time. Nice. Built-in tools. Tools have been part of your innovation. They now count as you having thieves' tools. Beautiful. Terrain Stalker. Oh, wait, hold on. With Terrain Stalker, we must choose a terrain. So let's add in here rubble. So we can move through rubble without much problem. Explode. Your innovation can explode. Easy done. There's rules on how it explodes there. Innovation. We already have our innovation as the weapon innovation, which is over here. You innovate an impossible-looking weapon. It starts with the same stats as a level 0 common, simple, or martial weapon of your choice, and instead uses the stats of a level 1 common and simple martial weapon. Yada, 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 a lot of stuff. We then get a bunch of different abilities based on what it is. So we can have dynamic weighting, or we can have entangled form, or we can have a bunch of different stuff. So we start with one initial thing. So let's start with... Let's start with... Bup, 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 bup. Let's say complex simplicity. You increase your innovative weapon damage dice by 1 step. So a d4 to a d6, d6 to a d8. So let's go with that. So we can put that in as a new item. Complex simplicity. Easy done. And just so that we can keep note of the fact that we've taken that one. All right. Now, I don't know why we don't have proficiencies here, but let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, no, we do have proficiencies, so they're over here for some reason. I don't know why they're not listed on the other side, but yeah, all your proficiencies are fine. So if you don't see it there, then that's okay. Okay, so we've got that. So that's our weapon innovation. We've got our inventor feat, which we took built-in tools. Overdrive. We can overdrive our weapon to do some cool stuff. Peerless inventor. You're constantly inventing. You gain the inventor feat even if you don't meet the prerequisites. Well, we don't have the inventor feat here, so let's quickly grab it from our feat list. Inventor. Drag and drop. And that gives us a ability to create formulas for crafting things. Brilliant. So that's now been thrown to there. Shield block, which gives us the shield block feat. So let's add the shield block feat now. Same thing. So this is a good reason to like check your stuff just to make sure that you've got it all like kind of there. And then you can just drag and drop what you need. So now we've got shield block, and that's in there. And that's all that stuff. Brilliant. The last thing we need to do, for the inventor at least, is we need to get some equipment. We have 150 gold. So let's keep this nice and simple here. As we pull out our items. Let's see, we have a wheelchair. Basic wheelchair. Yeah, basic wheelchair. Done. Let's see, what armor proficiency do I have? So I can go to the combat tab here. Have a look at the armor. I am trained in all armor except for heavy. So let's go... Let's look at some, like, light armor. So for our character here, you can see we've got a bunch of stuff. That looks very confusing. But what we have is your type of armor, the level that the armor is, which normally, traditionally, you shouldn't have anything that is, like, more than a level higher than your current level. So we're playing at level 1, so we're just going to go with basic level 1 stuff. You then have the price, your armor bonus, your dex cap, so a lot of familiar stuff from D&D. So let's go with studded leather, I think. Nice, easy, studded leather armor. So we just drag that across and drop it here. Now it says unidentified item, but we can just identify that item. Don't know why. And it is worn, so our armor has now been applied to our character. As for our weapon, let's look at our weapon. Actually, I should have. That was my bad. I didn't see how much studded leather cost. I should have. Bad, Michael. All right, so studded leather armor costs 2 gold. No, not 2 gold. Sorry, 2 silver. No, 3 gold. Wow. Okay, hold on.
What?
Wait, what? Hold on. I'm getting multiple prices here. Let me look at this one. All right, so it's 30 silver pieces, which is 3 gold.
Somebody's-
Okay, yeah.
Trying to haggle with you.
Yeah, it's trying to haggle with me. All right, so 30 silver pieces for the studded leather. So now I have leather. I've got a wheelchair. Let's see. What else can I get? I can
Tools?
get I can get an inventor class kit. Now, if you look at if you look for class kits, they're usually filled with a bunch of goodies. So for this one, it's 9 gold. So that's 92 silver for this whole kit, which comes with studded leather armor, a short sword, a crossbow, an adventure pack, crossbar, alchemist tools, a bunch of stuff. So I think no, that's the investigator. Sorry, that's the investigator. My bad. That was not the inventor one. There isn't an inventor one. Ripped off.
I'm suing.
I forgot. What is also the gold conversion recipe?
1 gold is 10 silver. All right. But I'm going to get a repair kit, which is another 20 silver. And then I'm going to get a weapon, which let's go with a... Let's go with a bow staff, which is 2 silver. All right. And we still have 98 silver remaining. I mean, if you want to, you can always purchase items and equipment. We can get a shield if we wanted to. We can get, even more gear. There is no inventor class kit. That sucks. Makes me sad. But yeah, I think for now, however, we've got armor, we've got our weapon, we've got what we need. And the last thing we need to do is just check in our actions to make sure. Yep, there we go. We've got our bow staff. Double check our maths to hit someone with our bow staff. That's a +3. Our strength is 0. So yep, that'll be a +3 because that's our proficiency bonus. And yeah, that's everything. And just like that, we have our Pathfinder 2nd edition character all done and dusted. Cornelius Whisperstone, the hired killer. And with our special spare time, let's just fill in our details. He's a male. He's 89 years old. He's about 5'5". His weight is 100 pounds. He's medium in size. His alignment is lawful neutral. His deity is Brigh, B-R-I-G-H, which is the god of innovation. Appearance, a kindly-looking old man with a old cut wound across his lip. He has gray-white hair and sits in a wheelchair that he built with his own hands. All right, nice and easy. Oh, we forgot languages. So languages, he's got common, and then because he's got 4 intelligence, or +4 to his modifier, we add 4 different languages, which we'll go with Gnomish. I'll say that he learned Naga as a language just to help with Mesha's upbringing.
For me.
Yeah. He can speak Elven, and he can speak Dwarven. There, nice and easy. Deity stuff. So there's a section here on religion. So if you need to add anything about religion, so let's add in stuff about Bree, which is our goddess. So there we go. If I want to know about Bree, I just click on that. Areas of concern, clockwork, invention, and time, and I can just look up all the stats on her. I can even see a picture of Bree. Look at that. That's my god.
Whoa.
Right? And all that took is just to put those little hot bars there. Miscellaneous. Anything extra that we need. I don't think there's anything extra we need. So that's it. Got our actions all sorted. That's all sorted. Oh, I did forget one thing. Because we had the weapon innovation, our D8 bludgeoning weapon should actually be, and we can clear the dice there, should actually be a D10 bludgeoning weapon. So there you go. Beautiful. And he is done. Cornelius is finished. Now let's answer some questions from chat and see if my players are doing just as good. Let's see. Dead Aussie, how do you run recall knowledge checks? Example, I want to know when this village was abandoned. I want to know about this weapon. I want to know about books. Now, if you are doing it in combat, it will take you an action because combat is 6 seconds worth of time and you are siphoning through, siphoning through your knowledge to try and figure out what you know. So it is a lore check and you will make it. If it is knowledge about a particular being, creature, or beast, then you would use the appropriate skill, such as Arcana to know about dragons, Religion to know about the undead, Occultism might also cover the undead, like kind of play it by ear on those ones. Society also does handle things like, local knowledge and stuff like that, but that is how I go about that. If you are out of combat, however, I just go with what is reasonable and sensible. For example, you guys know what a troll is. I would say that by this stage in most people's lives, they may not know what a troll is immune to, weak to. Thank you. You wouldn't know about their fire acid problem, but you would know that trolls are large giants that are voracious, that have the ability to heal wounds incredibly rapidly. I wouldn't ask for a check for that. So there's a certain amount of allowed expectation on their knowledge is how I do that. Let's see. Yeah. I have a question about a certain country in Pathfinder. Ask away. You can ask anything you want, Marcus. This is the time for it. All right. Players, while we're gathering more questions, Do you have questions? How is your leveling up going?
I just only really ran into like one weird issue that whenever I click on gymnast or what other swashbuckler style, it just opens up a tab of a new character and not actually telling me what each one does. Which is really weird. It's like,
Um,
yeah.
So it
So-
could be something that's added with the style. When I got to choose my Edolan, it actually pulled up another character class and or another character sheet, and it called it Naomi Vesta's Edolan.
Yeah, I guess Eidolons typically have their own thing, but whenever I
Right, but
click
if
on
your
like the
style,
gymnast
like-
ability, it opens up a character sheet, which is weird.
okay,
Because all it should just say is like whenever you disarm, trip, or shove an enemy, you gain a panache. But it's like if I forget that, I don't have anywhere to remind myself of that.
wait, so why is gymnast a character sheet?
Yeah, that's the part that's like
That
weird.
is
It's like,
interesting.
oh,
Okay, well, let's see if I can fix that. If I go
because I can
here,
write down
Have fun
somewhere
about it.
else what it is, so I don't have to, click into that. But
oh, that's a good. That's
and
a
it
good.
does that also with swashbuckler style, I think too. If you click that, it opens up a character sheet.
All right, Neil. You'll need to rename Naomi's Eidolon to the actual
Oh, yeah,
Eidolon's
yeah.
name.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm going to delete it by accident.
I get okay, sounds good.
All right, gymnast class feature.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, yep. The one that you
Okay.
added works.
Okay, and what was the other one? Swashbuckler.
I think it was the swashbuckler style was the one that was doing it. Let me check. Yeah, that was also the one doing it. And the other ones were not broken. I think. Like precise strike. Yeah, precise strike was normal. Panache was normal. Yeah.
Did you pick a swashbuckler style?
Yeah, I picked gymnast. Gymnast was the swashbuckler style. So it probably doesn't actually contain any useful information just because all the useful information is under gymnast, but
Now I gotta ask: did you create that swashbuckler style, or did you use the tracker?
I use the tracker. All right, yep, and that one works.
Yeah, that's really weird. All right, there you go. Everything else working?
Yep.
Easy done. Done.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Marcus's question: does Irisen's dragon population only contain white dragons since it's the frozen north, and or just dragons that do cold? Here's the thing: dragons do what they want. White dragons are basically the weakest of dragons in Pathfinder. They are craven, violent, jealous cowards, and they prefer the snow because they are able to use the environment to their advantage and overcome bigger and more daring challenges. This does not exclude other dragons from entering their territories. More, they benefit the greatest from it. More importantly, this region does not just have dragons as a big problem, but another type of draconic creature known as the Linorm. Linorms are kind of like the progenitors of dragons, the first dragons, who do not have wings as the dragons of Gregorian lore, but actually slither on the ground and are way worse in my opinion. Because even if you kill a Linorm will curse you with their blood for all eternity. For example, if you kill a Cairn Linorm, I think. Yeah, either a Grave Linorm or a Cairn Linorm. It will age you 1 year every day for the rest of your life, which will probably only be a week. So yeah, Linorms. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Is that a Pathfinder character creation sheet, and where can I find it? Omega Thug, welcome in, and this is actually in Fantasy Grounds. If you would like, let me just share with you a link so that you can follow said link. All right, here is the link to the PDF for a Pathfinder character sheet. Now, personally, if you are able to digest that, this one has a lot of like images, which I do like because it kind of helps me like keep an eye on where things are. Like my health looks like a heart, my armor looks like a suit of armor, my melee attacks look like axes, and my ranged attack looks like bows and arrows. So you know, I enjoyed this one. This was one of my favorite ones. But if you're looking for the base one... Oh, actually, you know what? Oh, I didn't realize that these guys made this one. I'd actually second guess that one I just linked, but here's another one. This one, yeah. So these guys, I love these guys. These guys are just, they make character sheets for people with dyslexia, and I actually do really like these sheets. I don't have dyslexia, but I think they're just really, really well made. That's just how I feel.
I need that.
Yeah. These guys make some really good character sheets. Hundo percento.
I just thought
Also, that one that you linked to, that's the one that I actually have used as a real paper character sheet. That's funny.
So I wanted to ask you something, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So the background I went with was blessed, and it's asking. It says, what was it? You are trained in a lore skill associated with the deity who blessed you, if you know their identity, or else in a lore skill of the GM's choice.
Mm.
Would I, since I don't actually I believe that the Eidolon is an angel, but I wouldn't know from which one. Would you say that would be the case? And then
Run that by me one more time.
so the the background gives me a lore skill in the deity who blessed me. If I know their identity. Otherwise the GM has to give me choose a lore skill that I would know.
Right.
So I want to know if I know the deity that blessed me.
Well, do you believe that a deity has blessed you? Because right now your mindset is this.
I think
this
I
is...
would believe a deity blessed me. I just might not know which one.
Okay.
Because
So,
I think that this is an angel that came to me, even though it's an Eidolon, you know.
but here's the thing: if it's the deity who blessed you, and you don't know who that is, then how would you have lore about that deity?
True. So in that case, what kind of lore would you think I would have? Because that's what it says. It says, or else in a lore skill of the GM's choice.
Oh, so I can choose anything. Okay, I'm gonna choose. All right, I see. I figured it out. Okay, I'm gonna go with your lore is about magicians.
Oh, cool.
Actually, no. Let's go with escapists. Because what kind of magicians were your parents? Illusionists, escapists,
I think they'd be
sleight of handists.
In my mind, they're kind of like illusionists, like
Illusionists. Done. All right, there you go.
box trick thing, you know.
Very well. Illusionism.
Sweet.
That is the lore skill we have given you.
Okay.
There is no clown god.
Could be terrifying.
Oh,
That's true. It looked like that John Luke Zamos character from the Spawn movies,
Oh God, yeah.
whose name we won't say on chat because
Okay, and then so I get since I'm playing the summoner, I get 5 cantrips at level 1, but the blessed background also gives me guidance as a cantrip. So I'll have 6 then.
Are you asking a question or are you just making a statement?
It's a statement.
Very well.
Just saying it so you don't wonder why I have 6 instead of 5.
I didn't even know you had 5, but yep, let's keep.
Apparently, a summoner gets 5 from 1 all the way to 20. So
All right. Well, with character building done, and I think everyone kind of on their way, I think we can probably call the stream a little bit early today. But before we do so, I'm going to give you guys a last little bit of advice in terms of the character design, making, and stuff like that, and for my chat as well. Now, these characters here are only part of the recipe for your characters, right? Ultimately, it does not matter what game system you use. The spirit of your characters will always come in your actions and how you use them. And the more vivid you have your ideas, the better it's going to be. 90% of what I do as a GM is I am the arbiter of the consequences of your variety of different actions. Sometimes, as I'm sure Neil can attest to, the answer will not lie in your character sheet at all. Right?
Yep.
You do not need to know the myriad of rules surrounding Pathfinder. You do not need to know the ins and outs of every intricacy that connects your rules to the rules of the person next to you, to the rules of the world. You just need to know what is on your sheet, how to read it, and just remember to be in that world, to place yourself in there. That is how Pathfinder shines, I feel.
Yeah.
Before we head out, players, any last thoughts, questions, things you want to bring up?
I was just excited for next week.
All my stuff is blank, and I can't pick anything.
All your stuff is blank and you can't pick anything. Like this whole time, or like?
Yeah, this whole time.
Okay. When I said, is anyone having any problems? That's the starting bit. Did you load up all the modules?
Probably not.
Then that would be why,
Mm.
because you don't have any of the books loaded in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and to be fair to my audience, I did tell them to load it before we even started streaming. So, the way you would do this in Fantasy Grounds is you would hit, there's a button here called Modules on the top right-hand side, which will open up this window. And down the bottom, there's a button called Activation. Click that, and it will give you a list of all the books. And you simply just load all the books you can/want, and that'll then create your catalog. Also, hey Distal, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Anyone
So-
else have any issues?
You
Just
know, I
one
do have a.
question.
Oh,
Came in chat late. That's probably didn't hear that stuff.
No, it was
Oh,
at the
that
it
is
was at the very very end. It's fine. I'll leave Fantasy Grounds open so you can work on it a little bit longer. Same with everyone else. You know, I won't shut it down immediately. Sean, you had something you wanted to throw in as well?
yeah. Just a quick, like, kind of role play meets gameplay question.
Yep.
Do you typically just always have the shield considered raised, or
No,
do you just want me to activate that whenever combat would start?
neither. Raising a shield is an action. If you do not take the action to raise your shield and an action in subsequent rounds to
Oh.
keep your shield raised, your shield will go down.
Interesting. Then I don't even actually need a shield because I have the similar thing with dodge.
Mm.
So I just dodge everything instead of shield stuff.
Yeah,
Neat.
the only exception to that is if you have the shield spell, which the spell itself does float around you as you are doing stuff.
Okay.
The way this works as a mechanic is, imagine if you would that you have a shield. If it's by your side, you clearly do not have it's not blocking you. So taking an action to just place it up and get ready to defend yourself with means that when you get hit with it, you not only apply your AC to it, but you can also apply the broken condition to deal some of the damage to the shield instead of you, to a point where the shield will eventually break. So that's how shields work in Pathfinder, which is, I think, very cool and very dynamic. But again, a lot of people tend to forget. A lot of people, in fact, tend to forget shields, and worse still, they tend to just not have them. So, you know. Omega Thug, is player 6 absent or unoccupied? Absent, unfortunately. But they will be back. And I will also try and find a better font for the names. I'm not a fan of these. I don't like them. I'm trying to find a good
Get outta
carnival. I'm
here.
trying to find a good carnival font. But we'll get there. I hope you guys do like the layout, though. I was very happy with the way
I
the
like
layout
it.
came out.
Yeah, I
Very
like the
slick.
animated background and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I hope it's not too distracting.
I think it's simple enough where it's not.
So before I randomly just drag a spell into my divine font
Comic
section,
Sans.
is there a way you can actually add divine font?
No, it is drag and drop into the divine font. Comic Sans.
Bye, Marcus.
Yep,
see.
you're now removed from this channel. It's
Block
not
him,
really
no,
our
kidding.
decision to do that, but
I know. Wait till Michael's like,
also, side note, I'm so happy because I didn't even think about putting this on my character, but the game it's outright said that I have a dueling cape. I'm like, yes, my character would definitely wear a cape. Like, thank you for reminding
No
me to put a
capes.
cape on my character in Hero Forge.
No capes. No capes.
That's awesome.
no kids. Sean's gonna be the first to die. Or Arturo is gonna be the first to die. So
One of my inventions are gonna drag you in. Like
Oh,
send you in.
Oh, that one's not bad. What do you guys think of this font? Is that still too hard to read?
Ooh.
It's not on stream. On
Oh, it's just
Zoom it is.
Harlan at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just his menu.
Huh?
It's okay.
I feel like, yeah.
A bit
I feel like
ouch.
it's kind of similar to the one we had,
Three.
but it is more readable for sure.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to be more readable. A bit ouch. Comic Sans is good for dyslexia, so it's on point. Fair.
What was
Shrink.
it? My one question.
Yes.
Additional lores.
Additional
your
lores.
stance? Yeah. So
Oh yeah, if you
Given
have
the
any
fact
laws
we're
that you
always-
want to get, you are more than welcome to pitch them and then train
I
them.
was going to pitch lore circus, given that I'm trying to get stories, and we are in the circus.
That makes perfect sense. I have absolutely no issues with you taking lore circus.
Oh,
In fact, I will go one step better, and I will. What's the name of? I'm gonna go with lore entertainment. So it's gonna expand beyond just circuses, but like theater productions.
That's another thing because I get theatre from some of the things I've already picked.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Then
Yes.
in which case, let's go with. Yeah, let's go with circus then. Let's go with circus. I don't want to overstep.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that I came with lore circus because I picked the acrobat background, which is kind of cool.
Alright. And then I gave because I had one additional point in int. So I got the language celestial.
Come on, last book down the.
I'm not very smart. I didn't get anything. I don't know languages.
I am not going to comment on number of languages.
I know them all. That's
So you're
really
like,
it's not
I
saying.
had a
no
character
evidence.
once that basically could. Like he was insanely intelligent, and then whatever background I picked gave him like 3 more. So he's like, I basically know how to speak everything but like abyssal or something like most people don't know. It was funny.
If it was just black on the white on the yellow is making it hard. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's where I'm tripping up. Let's do some color correction here.
Okay. I mean, I don't need to drag anything over to the other side, do I? There we go. Bam!
Yeah, it takes a little while to load them once you've clicked them.
Alright, ancestor.
Also, I like how that my wisdom is 0, but my perception is insane.
Mhm.
Well, not insane, it's 5, but it's like just because I'm a cat. That was one thing that was worrying me because like the act that he wants to do is like a blindfolded sword technique. It's like,
All right.
ooh, but his wisdom is terrible, and that's what you would need to be. Like, you need to be perceptive if you're gonna be blindfolded.
All right, I think that looks a little better. I think you were right with the background though. Hmm. All
Wait,
right.
do I have to click on human to get my race, or?
What race are you looking for? The Nagaji?
Yeah.
You should. It should. The Nagaji. What book is the Nagaji available from? Pathfinder 2E Nagaji. All right, this will be the last thing, and then we're gonna go raid out and sign off. All right. The Nagaji is in Impossible Lands. Oh, do I even have Impossible Lands? That's a good question. I might need to buy it.
I'm the dude. I'm the dude that you have to buy books for. All the
You
time.
are. You're the dude I have to buy books for. All right. Let's see. Impossible Lands.
No, because when I played tech yeah, the Gripply, you didn't have the Gripply. at
Yep,
the
that's
time.
Yeah.
true. That is true. All right.
I remember that.
Looks like I have to buy Impossible Lands. So, Rock, you're gonna have to wait until. Well, I'm gonna end the stream now. I'm gonna go buy it, and then I'm gonna reload it. All right. Just real quick check on everyone's progress. How's everyone for their character stuff?
I just need spells and I'm pretty good. Oh, and items, but that's pretty much it. So
I think I'm done.
Nice, Schooly
Yep,
Guy.
I'm all good. I
Nice.
can send you the Hero Forge mini so we can get that
Yep.
those tokens and stuff. And
Yep. Okay, so it's just Neil and Rock then. Okay, cool. So I might just reset it real quick, and get that done, and then Rock and Neil can finish up. All right, cool. In which case, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was at least somewhat helpful. We will be here next week for episode 1 of our adventure, the Extinction Curse, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Lots of
so
cool stuff to
excited.
find, lots of awesome chances to do some cool stuff. And guys, we are going to actually also be looking at adding people to the roster. So if you guys want, next week, one of the first, and I'm going to give this early, one of the first things we're going to be putting up for our $50 reward is you're going to create a member of the circus, which is going to be a part of the circus that will travel with the group. So if you are interested, we're only going to be doing this for a few episodes. So we're only going to have that offer for a few episodes. So if you are keen, let me know, and we'll do the thing. We'll make a thing happen. In the meantime, guys, thank you for joining us. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. You can find it here so many times during the week. Guys, let's now go and raid. Who are we going to go and raid? Who is out and about doing stuff? We have dun dun dun. It's Friday, isn't it? Mr. Moppet. Mr. Moppet. Let us go
Nice.
and raid. Oh, let's raid Sirenscape, because we love Sirenscape. And if I'm not mistaken, our dear friend, there she is, Ellen K. Graham is over there playing some cool stuff. So let's go raid over on the Sirenscape guys. They are playing Cyberpunk, which is a really, really cool cyberpunk, as the name implies, RPG. Send all the love, send all the raid emotes, all the hearts. And guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Until we meet again, wherever that happens to be, as always, game hard or die trying. Oh, wait. Paula Deming. Hi, Paula. Oh, my God. It's so good to see you, Paula. How are you? Welcome. I'm literally just about to... You know what? Hang on. Let me just cancel this raid real quick. Let me greet you guys properly. Guys, welcome in. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. We do TTRPGs here. We're doing session 0 for our game that we're going to be starting up next week called Extinction Curse. I hope you had a great stream. Thank you for swinging by. I it's been so long since I've seen you. But thank you so much for swinging by and raiding with your community. We are going to pass on the love because we do, of course. We love lifting each other up. We love celebrating people like yourself, like each other in the RPG community and beyond. So thank you for bringing your community here. And guys, let me put it this way. If you are interested in TTRPGs, if you love seeing some cool acting, and if you are interested in Pathfinder stuff, right? Give us a follow. Like, it really doesn't cost you anything, and you can come and check us out next time we're streaming. Paula, that is awesome. That is awesome to see that you have been streaming as well. I found that I've been doing tutorial sessions for Pathfinder 2nd Edition for a couple of weeks now, and I'm just over the moon that so many people are interested in learning it. I wish it was under better circumstances, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But I hope that your journey is going well as well. I don't know if we've hit each other up on Discord. I feel like it's been way too long. Here, go. There's my Discord. Boom. Right? If you guys want to follow my Discord, come say hi to me. I do lots of TTRPGs, not just here, but on other channels as well, and I love hanging out. And Paula, like I said, it's been a while. Let's chat. And if you're doing some Pathfinder stuff, let's see if I can get you on a show and we can play and do a one shot and have a bit of mischief here and there. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you once again. My name is Michael, the Dead as a Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. What am I here next? God, I don't know. Sometime. I'll be here Sunday. Sunday, we'll be here for Dag Reads. So be ready for that. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Mwah.
Boy. Boy.